Hi friends, today I'm going to show you how to solve this Clover plus cube. Clover plus cube is basically mix of curvy copter moves, and it also moves like 2 by 2. So it also jumbles like curvy copter. So I'll just show you. So if you want to jumble few petals, like if you want to jumble this green and blue, so you can do a jumble move also like this, and it will be swept. So it has jumble moves also, and it has 2 by 2 moves also. So it gives you some challenge. Okay, now we will require to move these corners, any of the corners, like this edge, and this edge should be counterclockwise or clockwise. So I'll just show you in 2 by 2 how you can move this piece counterclockwise. So suppose if you want to move this piece counterclockwise, so normally what we do is we do RIDI RD, again RIDI RD. So now we can see this piece is moved counterclockwise. Okay, now if you see the bottom layer is disturbed, so what we can do is we can replace it with another corner, and we can again repeat the same thing, RIDI RD, RIDI RD, till we get all white RIDI RD in bottom, RIDI RD. So these all are now into its place, and now you can undo. So if you look at this is this moved counterclockwise and this moved clockwise. So now we'll use this strategy in this cube. So first let us scramble it. Okay, so now it is scrambled properly. So our first step is to bring it into a square shape. So first what we'll do is we'll try to bring this petals into its correct position, so that we can bring it into square shape. So we have like two situation like this. So what we can do is we have two petals which are out. So what we can probably try to do is we'll first fix it like this, and we'll try to replace it with this. So because here also this was the piece that we can use. Okay, now we have 1 and 2 over here. So let's see if we can fix it. So this, and then probably what we can do is and beauty is you can move these petals which are not into its correct position on any side. So these two petals are there now. So what we can do is we can replace it with this petal. So now we are left with 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so what we can do is we can probably use this 2. Okay, so this we can replace it with this, and now we are left with only 2 petals. Okay, so what we can do is we can again bring this together like this, and we can replace it with this, with this. Okay, so now it is into square shape. Okay, so our next step is to fix the edges. So we'll start with white. So this is white and green. We will require one more white and green. So one more white and green is here. So simply we'll bring it like this. So our white and green is done. Now this is white and red. So what we'll do is we'll bring this white and red on this side and bring it like this and move. So we have white and red also this side. Okay, now we have to remember the color pattern. So if this is top and this is white, so here if it is white and red, so this side it should be white and blue and not white and green. So we'll have to bring this white and green over this side. So how do we do it? So simply we have to bring it this white and green over here and replace it with unsolved edge and bring it back. Again do the same thing. What we'll do is we'll bring this again over here and replace it with unsolved and bring it back. Okay, so now we have white and green on left side, white and red is here, so we need one more white and red edge piece. Here we should have white and blue, and here it should be white and orange. Okay, so now this is white and blue, we need one white and red. White and red is here only, so simply we have to bring it over here, replace it with the unsolved and bring it back. So this is also placed. Okay, next is white and orange. Do we have white and orange? White and orange. Okay, so, and this is white and blue. Okay, so what we can do is white and orange is here, and this needs to be placed here. Okay, so this needs to be placed here. So what we'll do is we'll first bring it on this side. So this is white and reds, and these are white and orange, so we will bring it over here and replace it with this unsolved one. Okay, so this white and orange is here. Now what we can do is we can simply place it like this. So this is moved out, but we can easily bring it back. Okay, so now we have white and orange, we have white and red, we have white and green, and this white and green we can bring it easily. So what we'll do is we'll first bring this white and green in front of this, and first we'll bring it here, replace it with unsolved one and bring it back. Okay, and now you can turn it around. So we have white and red, white and green, white and orange. Okay, now we will require last white and blue. So we have one white and blue over here, which we can place it over here. So white and blue, replace it with unsolved edge and bring it back. Okay, so this is placed. Now we need one more white and blue, which is here. So simply this top layer you can move anywhere, because this will not disturb. Okay, so now this white and blue we can bring it here, but first we need to bring white and blue piece over here, and then we'll bring it like this and replace it with the unsolved one. Okay, and turn it around. Okay, so our white and blue edges are placed properly. Okay, next step is to fix the second layer edges. So here it should be red and blue, so this should be red and blue. So where is red and blue? Red and blue is here. So how we can bring it over here? So simply we have to bring this over here and replace it with the unsolved one and bring it back. So we have to undo the setup move every time, so that we do not disturb the first layer. Okay, so this is in place. Now we need blue and orange. So blue and orange, do we have blue and orange? No, we do not have. We need blue and orange here. Okay, next is orange and green. So orange and green is here, so simply we have to bring it here, replace it with the unsolved one and bring it back. So this is placed. Now green and blue, so green and red. So green and red is here, but it is of the top layer, it is not of this layer, I mean this corner. So where is the other? Okay, so this green and red belongs to this side. Okay, so how to place it into this position? So simply what we have to do is, as I said, we will have to use the algorithm which I showed you. Okay, so this green and red belongs to this side, so we have to do it anti-clockwise 2 times, and we have to ensure that this white edges should not disturb. So simply Ri di R D, again Ri di R D. Okay, so it is here. One more time we have to do Ri di R D, Ri di R D. Okay, so now it is in place, but since this is disturbed, so what we have to do is we have to bring this corner into other side, so this side or this side, and now we have to again do with Ri di R D with this edge corner. So Ri di R D, Ri di R D. So now this is in place, and we have this green and red over here, so that we can easily place it. So this is into its correct position. Okay, and this is also into its correct position. Now we need orange and blue. Orange and blue, where is orange and blue? Orange and blue is here, one orange and blue is here. So this will come here. Okay, so this is not the right edge piece, because this will come here like this. So blue will come here and orange will come here. So that will be of this corner. So we need for bottom corner, so it should be this one. Okay, so we'll again use this, we'll rotate this top corner edges, and then we'll replace it with other. So RI DI R D, RI DI R D. Okay, so now it is come into its correct position. Now we'll replace this corner with other corner like this, and we'll do the same thing. RI DI R D, again RI DI R D, RI DI R D, RI DI R and D. So we have to ensure that these edges are not disturbed. Okay, so now we have orange and blue over here that we can easily place it. Okay, so now we can see all the edges of first layer of this corner is done. Now we have to place it the second edges of the second layer, first layer. So let's see if we have any option, so we can. Okay, so all yellow options are there, so these are not the right edges. Okay, so this edge we need to place over here. So first we will bring this blue and orange over here, so this will be paired. Okay, so again RI DI R D, again RI DI R D. Okay, this is into its correct position. Now we will replace it with other corner. RI DI R D, RI DI R D, again RI DI R D, again RI DI R and D. Okay, so now we have to ensure that this layer is not disturbed. Okay, and now we can see our blue and orange edges are paired. Okay, these edges are also paired, orange and green. Now we need green and red. Green and red, where is green and red? Green and red is here, and blue and red. So where is blue and red is here. Okay, so what we can do is we can bring this first over here, and then we can replace it with this corner. So I'll show you how to do it. So it is RI DI R D, again RI DI R D. One more time, because it was here, so it came here. Now we have to bring it over here. So RI DI R D, RI DI R and D. So it has come into its correct position. So now what we'll do is we'll replace it with this corner. So this will come down. So RI DI R D, RI DI R and D. Okay, so now we can see we have two corners. These two are already paired. This is paired and this is paired. Now we have to pair this two. So this is green and red, and this is green and red is here. So what we'll do is we'll bring green and red first. So we'll bring this over here, and we'll bring it this green and red and replace it with the unsolved, and now turn around. So this is done. So we have 1, 2, 3 edges are paired. Now we need the fourth one. This is orange and blue. Okay, so now we are left with one edge, that is blue and orange. We need to place it over here. So what we have to do is we have to replace this unsolved one with this thing. So simply we have to bring this unsolved one over here. Now what we have to do is when we do RIDIRD, it will move like anti-clockwise. So this yellow and red will come here, and this yellow and red will come here. So whenever this yellow and red will come here, we'll replace it with the orange and blue, because we need orange and blue in this position. So we have to replace this edge piece with this edge piece. So RI DI R D, again RI DI R D. Okay, so now this yellow and red came here. So now what we'll do is we'll replace it with orange and blue, and now we'll finish the RIDIRD, RI DI R D, again RI DI R D, again RI DI R D, RI DI R D. And now you can see this is into its correct position, this all are into its correct position. Okay, so our second layer edges are paired. Now we have to pair the last layer edges. So here it should be yellow and green. So yellow and green is here. Here it should be yellow and red, yellow and green, yellow and red. Okay, so no edges are into its correct position and they are not even opposite. So yellow and green is here, which needs to be placed here. Yellow and orange needs to be here, which is placed here. Okay, so what we can do is simply we have to rotate this edges, because here we need, yeah, this is orange, so yellow and orange we need over here. So we have two edges, yellow and orange over here. So what we'll do is whenever this yellow and green will come here, we'll replace it with the yellow and orange, so that it will be, I mean this both will be solved simultaneously. So RI DI R D, RI DI R D. So now you can see this yellow and green piece which was here came here. So we'll simply replace it with yellow and orange. So we'll finish the RI DI R D, RI DI R D, RI DI R D. Okay, so now here also you have yellow and orange and yellow and green. So that also you can replace like this. So now in last RI DI R D, this will come here, this will come here, and this will come here. So again RI DI R D, RI DI R D. Okay, so this is intact, this is in place, simply we have to rotate it. So this is in place, this is also in place. Okay, we'll do the same thing over here also. So this is yellow and red and this is yellow and blue. So this two needs to swap. So again RI DI R D, RI DI R D. Okay, so yellow and blue has come here, we will replace it with yellow and red. We'll do one more cycle, RI DI R D, RI DI R D. Okay, so here it has come yellow and red and yellow and blue. We'll replace it with this, and now RI DI R D, again RI DI R and D. And now you can see all the edges are into its correct position. So our next step is to fix the petals. To fix the petals, it is very easy. First we need to see what all petals are. This is white petal which will be placed here. So what we'll do is we'll bring this petal out, and then we'll replace it with this blue one and place it back. So this is placed, this is jumbled, this can be placed here. So what we can do is we'll bring this white out and turn this white and replace it this and bring it back. Okay, so all three whites are done. Now we have one more white left, so it should be this, this and this. Okay, so simply we have to bring it over here like this, and this will be placed here. Okay, so this is very easy step. If you know how to solve curvy copter, this you can solve easily. So now there are all curvy copter moves only with jumble petals. Okay, so this is done. Now we have to fix the blue one. So this blue is here. So what we'll do is we'll bring this out first, take this out open, upside, and this bring it back. Okay, this is done. Now this blue will be placed here. So take it out and then replace it with blue. So this blue is also fixed. Here it should be red. So red. So red petal should be here, here, or here. So there is no red petal over here. Okay. Green petal should be here and here. So here it is green petal. So what we'll do is we'll bring it out first, then turn this around and replace it with green and bring this back. So this is placed. This green will also be placed here. So take this out and replace it with the green and bring it back. Here it should be orange. Here also it should be orange. So orange, no orange over here. Okay, and what we can do is we need one red over here, so it should be here or here. Here we have one red, so we can jumble this two, so we can swap this two. So simply we have to do one thing, we'll replace it with this. Then bring this back. Okay, so now we have red over here, that we can place it over here. So bring it up, place this red into its correct position. So now we have red in place. This green we can easily place it, so up, up, down and down. Okay, and we have this orange we can place it, so orange is also into its correct position. Okay, what next? We have this red. Okay, and we have this blue. Okay, so up, up, down, down. Okay, so this is also placed. So we have blue, which is fully solved, green is also solved, orange, red and yellow we need to solve. Okay, so orange, if you can see, we have two petals which are not into its correct position, so this needs to be here and this needs to be here, so that we can place this. So simply what we have to do is we have to replace with this. So up, up and jumble it, and okay, so one petal is here. What we have to do is we have to simply bring it up, replace it with the orange one and bring it down. So this is placed. Now we have this orange which needs to be placed here, so this two needs to be jumbled. So simply we have to jumble this two. Okay, I'm not explaining much because this is simple curvicopter moves. So okay, so we have, okay, we have this blue should be here and orange should be here, so this is it. And now we can replace it with this orange. Okay, so this is done. Okay, so now we are left with probably 1, 2, 3. So up, up, down. Okay, and down. Okay, so now if you see, we have 1, 2, 3 pieces which are left to solve. All other pieces are solved. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll simply we need to place this petal over this side, so we can't do it because it's in the same plane. So what we'll do is we'll jumble these two petals and this will solve our problem. So up, up, then jumble it. Since both are yellow, we will not have any issue. So now we can see it came here, and now we can replace it with the yellow one. So up, then up, down and down. So now you can see our green is solved, and now we are left with this 1 and 2. Okay, so now what we can do is probably we have to solve this. Okay, so this will come here, or probably what we can do is we can jumble this two, so this will come here. Okay, so we'll have to jumble this two. Okay, okay, up, then up, down and down. Okay, now we have two pieces which are unsolved. So what we have to do is we have to again jumble these two so that this will solve our problem. Okay, and now you can see this, we can replace it with, and okay, so this is our last petal which we can solve it easily. Okay, so simply this is in the same plane, so what we'll do is we'll replace this two, we'll jumble this two, and this is our final step. So we have jumbled it and bring this back, and now we can see our cube is solved. So if you have any query, you can message me. Thank you very much.